Alrighty, we're back. Of course, again, like I said, I'm not going to show you actual soldering because you could probably care less. But what I've done to make this try to be as neat and get everything cut as well as possible is, you can see right here, instead I was going to run these up underneath there and then underneath the board and then through these holes. I decided not to because my spacers are actually holding it down pretty close, and that micro minimum SD that's actually up underneath it was actually going to get in the way basically of these ESC wires. So anyway, what I did, you can see positives to positives, negatives to negatives. They are opposite on each side, but they are clearly marked. But guess what I did? I got a multimeter out and checked it after I soldered on this connection. Now, some people are thinking, oh, that's not nearly enough solder. But if you'll notice, every one of my joints are super clean, very nice and neat. Oh, get that back in focus. There we go. Nice and shiny, and that's what you want. People worry about strength and gobbing solder on there, and all you're doing is creating a giant resistor, basically. So, anyway, got TX and RX over here. Those will be for the micro minimum SD. I didn't solder any pins because I'm trying to keep this as neat and clean as possible, so I'm going to direct solder everything back to this board that I have to. Again, I'm also going to make sure my 12 volt out and 5 volt out are 12 volt and 5 volt, because this will be for my LED and my flight controller. And I'm actually probably not going to use anything for the 12 volt out, because the only thing that would use it is going to be my VTX and my camera, and those are independent there. So anyway, this is what it looks like once it's all soldered up. Of course, like I said, I'm trying to keep a super clean build. I mean, you can see everything looks like it's pretty nice and neat so far. ESC wires are actually going to go underneath here, and I am going to try to bring those up directly underneath the flight controller board and solder those directly on. And then again, I am going to solder on two separate leads here, positive and negatives, for flight controller and LED. I don't see, since the LED is actually going to be right here, it's going to be mounted on the post back here on the back, and you'll see that. I'll probably not, of course, not going to have to run a super long wire. I am going to hit every single bit of this with a little bit of hot glue once it's all everything's soldered in, and then I am going to hit it with some liquid tape. I'm going to do 2 or 3 coats at least, so that we can make sure that we keep everything from touching the flight control board. Only problem we're going to have with this one is right here. It is sticking up kind of high. I'm going to only have probably about 2 or 3 millimeters holding on these top stands. So we'll see when we get there. Hopefully, I don't know. This will actually will also be, we'll put that there, and we'll hit a couple of dabs of hot glue to hold this thing straight down, so that my battery will be right there with it. So anyway, just updating a little progress here, and we're going to have this thing knocked out tomorrow.